Well, I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Jeopardy Stat, played just like the game show at home. Of course, your host is not Alex Trebek, it's Dr. Sinchek. And we've got 6 contestants up here that are all willing to play, and I'm going to introduce them real shortly. And of course, I know you're all anxious for them to play because they'll all be playing for the different sections, and if your section wins, you all get a bonus point, plus you get a bonus point for watching. And in addition, one of the Jeopardy question/answers will be on the final exam, exactly the way it's stated here. But first things first, sponsors, okay? We couldn't play the game without our sponsors. So here they are. Let's just take a look on the smart board. First of all, quiz number 7, you better take that. Some of you that don't have the maximum number of points, quiz number 7 actually opens up on Tuesday, November 21st. I know that's a reading day and you don't have to do it, but it's totally up to you, but it goes all the way through next week, Tuesday. So you have a whole week's time to take quiz number 7 via Canvas. And then you can't forget the final exam. That's our major sponsor. The final exam is December 2nd from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. That's a Saturday. That's the first day of finals week. And just to show you where you're going, let's take a look here. Let me widen that up, make it bigger so you can all see it a little bit better. All right, so basically you're going to head over to the business auditorium area, Business 1100. And if you're in any of these sections, Monday, Wednesday 8, Monday, Wednesday 3:30, Tuesday, Thursday 9:30, Tuesday, Thursday 2, you're going to the Business 1100. If you're in the Wednesday night class, go to Business 1201, it's right around the corner. And if you're in the Tuesday, Thursday 3:30 section, go to Business 1301, again, right around the corner, and bring pencils, because it's a multiple choice test, and I'll talk about that next week when we do a review. So that's where you're going for the final. Okay, that's the only time scheduled for us, so you need to come to that time period, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Okay, now let's introduce our contestants, okay, because like I say, we're all very appreciative of them playing. If they don't play, there's no game, there's no bonus points, and everybody wants bonus points. All right, so first, Katie. Katie's playing for the Monday, Wednesday 8, and Katie, raise your hand just so everybody knows who you are. Let's give Katie a round of applause because we're appreciating Katie coming. So Katie's from the live class. Usually we have a lot of students from the live class here watching, but maybe not today, I don't know. But anyway, so Katie may get more applause than others, we'll see. Second contestant, Raquel. Hi Raquel, thanks for coming. And Raquel is playing for the Monday, Wednesday 3:30 class, that's her section. All right, then we have Brent. All right, Brent, raise your hand there. Thanks, Brent, for coming. And Brent is Wednesday night, playing for the Wednesday night class. All right, then we pop over to Troy. Troy, raise your hand. There you go, there's Troy. Troy's Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30. Now we have Fernando. Fernando, Tuesday, Thursday, 2. Thanks, Fernando. And last but not least, Yolanda. And Yolanda, thank you, Yolanda. She's playing for Tuesday, Thursday, 3:30. So I know who you're all rooting for, whoever your section is, right? That's who you want to win. So no hard feelings, contestants. They want to earn bonus points, all these students. Okay. Now, the game. Okay. Let me show you the first round, okay? All the contestants are familiar with the game show. So here's the first round categories. I'm going to explain them to you because the category helps you. Okay, in terms of the question/answer. Okay, this category, number please. Okay, somehow the answer is going to be some number, possibly, or maybe I give you a number and you have to interpret it, something like that. Okay, acronyms. We've had a lot of acronyms that we use, short notation for different topics, different things. So that'll be on acronyms. So maybe I give you the acronym and you tell me what it is, or maybe I tell you what it is, you give me the acronym. Greek symbols, in statistics we use a lot of Greek symbols. That's a category to remember. So Greek symbols, something about a Greek symbol. Ho and ha, of course, we know it better as H-O and H-A. So that's the null and the alternative hypothesis. So each question answer will have to do with the null or the alternative. And then finally, regression terms. Regression terms, where you've something to do with regression. All right, now the points. Okay, they range from 100, so we can just show these. Thanks, Sean. They range from 100 up to 500, and you can go anywhere you want, okay, once you are in control of the board. I tried to make the answers questions a little bit tougher, the bigger the point value, okay? There's also a daily double buried in here somewhere, and the way the daily double works is if you end up selecting that, only you get an opportunity to answer the question, and you can wager as much as you have or as little as you have. It's totally up to you, but nobody else would get an opportunity to do that. So that's the way the game is played. Now let me get set up here. Give me a second. And Katie, by the way, because you're coming from the Monday, Wednesday live class, you get to go first in terms of picking. But now remember, yeah, see, we got a couple people from Monday, Wednesday live here. But remember now that anybody can raise their hand. So you're going to raise your hand high, contestants, because once you see the category response answer, raise your hand high, and then I'll call on you. And then you can answer it in the form of a question, okay? And then if you get that right, then you're in control of the board, and we continue on that way. If you miss it, then anybody else can buzz in or can raise their hand high in, okay? So, Katie, where do you want to go?
Acronyms for 100.
Acronyms for 100. Computer software used to generate your project printouts. Katie?
Statistics.
Form of a question?
What is statistics?
What is statistics? See, I give everybody a kind of grace the first round, but then the second round, if you don't put it in the form of a question, I'll say no. But you got that right, Katie. That's 100 points for you. All right. We do have a few people from the live class. All right, Katie, pick.
Acronyms for 200.
Acronyms for 200. ANOVA. Katie again.
What is analysis variance?
What is analysis of variance? That's right. You're good. You're good. What is analysis of variance? All right. Pick again, Katie.
Acronyms for 300.
Acronyms for 300. Sum of squared errors. Katie again.
What is R squared?
Sorry, no. Troy.
What is SSE?
What is SSE? So Troy's on the board. All right. Troy, you pick.
We'll do acronyms for 400.
Acronyms for 400. E of Y. Brent.
What is the expected value of y?
What is the expected value of Y? Good, Brent. That's all yours. Your points. You pick.
Acronyms for 500?
Acronyms for 500. The coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination. Fernando.
What is R?
Sorry, no. Troy.
What is R squared?
What is R squared? What is R squared? Coefficient of determination. Okay, so you're in control. Troy, where do you want to go?
Let's do regular terms for 100.
Okay, so regression terms for 100.
Regression, yeah.
The object upon which measurements are taken. Raquel.
Experimental unit.
What is experimental unit?
Yeah.
Very good, Raquel. You're on the board now. You pick.
Regression terms for 200.
Regression terms for 200. When the relationship between y and x1 depends on x2, Fernando got in first.
What is interaction?
What is interaction, Fernando? Good job. All right, you pick.
Regression terms for 500.
Down to 500 for regression terms. When two or more independent variables are highly correlated. Brent.
What is multicollinearity?
What is multicollinearity? Very good, Brent. You pick.
Regression terms for 400?
Regression terms, 400. Describes a model with a squared term, x squared. Raquel.
What is a dummy variable?
Sorry, no. Fernando.
What is a curvilinear model?
Was a curvilinear model or second order model, something like that. Okay? Okay, Fernando, you pick.
Greek symbols for 500.
Greek symbols for 500. Unobservable regression error. Unobservable regression error. Raquel.
What is epsilon?
What is epsilon? Very good. 500 points. All right. Go ahead, Raquel.
Greek symbols for 400.
Greek symbols, 400. Squared or not, it measures dispersion in the population. Brent?
Sigma?
Form of question?
What is sigma?
What is sigma? Good, Brent. Your points. You pick.
Greek symbols for 300?
Greek symbols, 300. True slope of the line in simple linear regression. Fernando.
What is beta 1?
What is beta 1? Very good. Slope of the line. You pick, Fernando.
Number, please, for 500.
Number, please, for 500. Number of treatments in ANOVA with two factors, sex, male, female, and race, white, non-white. Fernando?
What is two treatments?
Sorry, no. Brent?
What is 4 treatments?
What is 4? 2 times 2 is 4. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Brent, you pick.
Can I have regression terms for 300?
Regression terms to finish that category for 300. Describes a model with a few number of terms. Describes a model. Troy got in.
What is a reduced model?
Sorry, no. Anybody else want to try to buzz in? A model with a few terms. Katie.
What is model 4?
More specific. Fernando.
What is model with no interaction, no curvature?
No, I can't give you that one either. Sorry. So far everybody's missed. Anybody else that hasn't buzzed in? The reason why I couldn't give you those models is because I need a general term for this. I don't know if anybody in the audience knows. Model with a few number of betas in general is a parsimonious model. A parsimonious model. Parsimonious. Okay, I think, trying to remember who was the last correct questioner. I believe it was Troy. Go ahead, Troy, you pick.
Let's do Greek symbols for 100.
Greek symbols for 100. A measure of central tendency in the population. Fernando?
What is the mean?
Sorry, no. Katie?
What is mu?
What is mu? Greek symbols. Greek symbols, yeah. Got to remember the category, Greek symbols. Okay, Katie, you pick.
Numbers, please, for 100.
Number, please, 100. A large sample. Fernando?
What is a population?
More specific.
What is a subset?
Sorry, no. Katie?
What is 30?
What is 30 or more? Would be a good number. Yeah.
Like negative.
You pick, Katie.
Numbers, please, for 200.
Number, please, for 200. Number of dummy variables required to represent a qualitative variable, 3 levels, low, medium, high. Fernando.
What is 2?
What is 2? One less, the number of levels. What is 2? Very good. Okay, Fernando, pick.
HO and HA for 500.
You can say ho and ha. I'm okay with that, yeah. Ho and ha for how much?
For 500.
For 500. A p-value which supports HA when alpha equals 0.02. Brent.
0.01.
Form of a question.
What is P equals 0.01?
What is 0.01? Exactly. Okay. Any p-value smaller than that alpha would lead you to reject HO. Okay, Brent, you pick.
Ho and ha for 400?
Ho and ha, 400. The null hypothesis for the global F-test in regression. Katie?
What is beta not, or what is beta 1 equals 0?
I have to say no to that. Sorry. Anybody else want to buzz in? Troy?
What is beta 1 equals beta 3 equals 0?
I'll have to say no to that also. Anybody else want to buzz in? Audience? Both of you were around the right answer, but it's in multiple regression, there's multiple terms. It's all the betas in your model. That's why I couldn't give you beta 1, beta 3. All the betas in your model, excluding beta naught. So what's the answer is all betas in the model, excluding beta naught, are equal to 0. Okay. Who picked that category, by the way? Anybody remember? Yeah, go ahead, Brent, you pick.
Ho and ha for 300?
Ho and ha for 300. Decision made about HO when alpha exceeds the p-value. Brent.
Reject the null in favor. What is rejecting the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative?
That's right. Reject HO. Yep, you got it. Go ahead, Brent.
Ho and ha for 200?
Ho and ha, 200. A type 2 error. Raquel.
What happens when you accept HO when it's not the answer?
That's right, when it's not the answer. We're accepting HO when HO is false. Same thing. You got it, Raquel. Okay, you pick.
Ho and ha for 100.
Ho and ha for 100. Finish that category. Rejecting HO when HO is true. Troy.
What is the type 1 error?
What's type 1 error? Yep. Type 1 error. All right, Troy, you pick.
Let's do Greek symbols for 200.
Greek symbols, 200, finishing it up. The daily double, we finally hit it. So I'm going to consult with our scorekeeper. Tyler, how many points does Troy have? That's all he needs to know, really. 200. Okay, Troy, you can wager up to 500 because this is single round. You have 200 points. You can wager up to 500. How much would you like to bet?
Let's wager 300.
Okay, he's going to go 300. So remember that, Tyler. Okay, so Troy, only you. So this is your question, answer. The tester's choice, usually 0.05.
What is alpha?
What is alpha? Greek symbol. There you go. 300 points for you, Troy. All right, you pick.
All right, let's do number please for 300.
Number, please, for 300. The value of r squared in simple linear regression when x and y are uncorrelated. Fernando.
What is 0?
What is 0? Very good. And now the last question for number, please, for 400. In theory, the proportion of 90% confidence intervals for mu that capture the true mean. In theory, the proportion of 90% confidence intervals for mu that capture the true mean. Brent.
What is the confidence level?
More specific.
What is the confidence level for the prediction interval?
I'm going to have to say no to that. Sorry. Anybody else want to buzz in? Audience? Anybody know? You were right around it, Brent. 0.9, 90%, right? If you do a 95% confidence interval, 95% of the intervals are going to contain the mean. If you do a 90% confidence interval, 90% of the intervals are going to contain the mean. Okay, that was a great first round. All right, let's take a break. All right, so we'll come right back. Audience, give us some applause here to these contestants. They did a great job. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I'll give you the scores. We'll get into the double Jeopardy round. So be right back. See you in a second. Well, we are back for the second round of Jeopardy. And again, I need to remind you because it's so important. We could not play Jeopardy without the sponsors, and the sponsors are your quiz number 7, and more importantly, your final exam. Make sure you know where you're going, when you're going for the final, which is Saturday, December 2nd. Okay, now, the scores, where we stand. All right, and by the way, contestants, things can change dramatically in Double Jeopardy, so you should not be concerned too much about your score. But here we go. All right, so in the lead actually is Brent with 2,200 points, followed by Troy with 500, then Raquel with 400, and then we've got Yolanda at 0, Fernando negative 100, Katie at minus 500. So Katie, you're actually going to go first. But like I say, things can change dramatically, and here's why. Okay, because in Double Jeopardy, I'm going to show you the categories now. First of all, look at the points. They double. Okay, that's why I'm saying things can change dramatically. There's 2 daily doubles buried, all right, rather than just 1. Now, here's the categories, and these are important, of course, to remember when you pick a category. Well, all this semester we've talked about statisticians that have come up with techniques and whatever that we use to analyze data. So this is the famous statistician category, famous statisticians, okay? Just do it, meaning, how do you do something, okay, or what are you doing, okay? So something obviously pertaining to statistics, explaining a particular technique. Woe is me, okay, meaning there's been problems that we've encountered, caveats and so on with some of the methodologies that we've presented in class. So the woe is me category is, issues like that, problems with the different statistical techniques. Spent a lot of time on regression analysis, talked a lot about different kinds of models. Here's your models category. So these are regression models, something to do with the regression model. Maybe I ask you to give me the form of the model. Maybe I give you the model and you tell me what it is, something like that. And then finally, quotes and quoters. Okay, I've always mentioned a few famous quotes that we utilize in class. So quotes and quoters. Now, Katie, you get to go first. You can pick any category you want. So let me get back up here. And away we go. Go ahead, Katie.
Just do it for 200.
Just do it for 200. Assign 1 to female and 0 to male. Raquel.
What is a dummy variable?
What is a dummy variable for gender? That's right. You got it. Okay, 200 points for you. Pick again.
Just do it for 400.
Just do it 400. Check to see if a standardized residual exceeds 3 in absolute value. That was Brent.
What is checking for outliers?
What's checking for an outlier? Yep, very good. Okay, Brent, you get those points. You pick.
Just do it for 600.
Just do it, 600. Y star equals square root of y. Raquel.
How to correct the error for unequal variances?
Yeah, okay, that's one way you can say it. Correction for the unequal variances, variance stabilizing transformation. Either way you say it, that's the right answer. Okay, Raquel, pick.
Just do it for 800.
Just do it, 800. Start with quantitative and then quantitative squared, then add qualitative, finally add quant by qual interactions. Brent.
What is model building?
What is model building? That's one way to say it, and it also leads to model number 1, building the complete model. Very good, you get those points. Go ahead.
Just do it for 1,000.
And finish it up. Just do it, 1,000. Divide the printout value in half if one-tailed. Leave it alone if two-tailed. Divide the printout value in half if one-tailed. Leave it alone if two-tailed. Raquel's in.
What is the p-score? Like, what do you do with the p-score?
More specific, please. We can share the clue, just so everybody can see it. Thanks, Sean. What's up? I'm asking more specific. Do you have a more specific answer?
What do you do with the p-score when conducting a test of hypothesis?
I'm going to have to say no. Anybody else want to buzz in on that? Brent.
How you check the p-score? What is checking the p-score when your alternative hypothesis is that a portion is equal or greater than less than?
I need to know more specific, please. I'm going to say no on that. Anybody else want to buzz in? You guys were both around it, but not quite right. This is a pretty tough question, okay? When do you do this? You do this when you're conducting a t-test for a single beta. Then you have to know what the alternative is. You have to know whether it's a two-tailed test or a one-tailed test. So a t-test on a single beta is when you would worry about dividing the printout value in half if one-tailed and two-tailed. So I couldn't tell from what you were saying whether it was focusing on a t-test. Okay. Raquel's picking, though. Go ahead, Raquel.
Models for 200.
Models for 200. Here we go. Star Trek Spock knows this increases as independent variables are added to the model. Fernando.
What is adjusted R squared?
Sorry, no. Yolanda actually was in next.
What is R squared?
What is R squared? There you go, Yolanda. All right. Yolanda's in. Pick, Yolanda.
Models for 400.
Models for 400. term for level of a qualitative variable that's assigned all zeros for the dummies? Fernando?
What is the base level?
What's the base level? Very good, Fernando. You pick.
Famous statisticians for 1,000.
Famous statisticians for 1,000. Compare of means. Sounds like a holiday bird. Raquel.
Tukey. Who's Tukey?
Who is Tukey? Tukey. Not turkey, Tukey. All right, pick Raquel.
Models for 600.
Models for 600. Ah, the first of the two daily doubles. So, Tyler, how many points does Raquel have? And then next we would need to know how many points the leader has so Raquel can make an intelligent wager. Okay, you have 1,200 points, Raquel. You can wager up to 1,200, okay? And then probably Brent in the lead, I think, maybe? Okay. You have half of Brent's 2,400 points. You can wager all of it or as much as you want of it. It's up to you.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to risk it that
Okay,
much.
you decide. What do you
So
want?
I'm going to 200.
She can only go 200. Okay, so 200 for her. All right, now only you, Raquel, can answer this question. Here we go.
Okay.
Term for a model that performs well when the least squares assumptions are violated. Term for a model that performs well when the least squares assumptions are violated.
What is the best model?
Sorry, no, Raquel. Probably good you didn't wager that much then, right? Okay. The answer, anybody know in the audience what the answer is here? A model that performs well when the assumptions are violated. It's robust, right? Robustness. That's the robust model. Yeah. Okay, but you're still picking. Raquel, go ahead.
Okay. Woe is me for 200.
Woe is me for 200. The beta in a simple linear regression model that has no practical interpretation when x equals 0 is nonsensical. Brent?
Beta naught? What is beta naught?
What is beta not? Very good. You pick Brent.
What was me for 400?
Woe is me, 400. An indication of multicollinearity on the regression printout. Brent?
What is having a correlation coefficient greater than 0.7 on the correlation matrix printout?
Just a little more specific.
Between the two independent variables.
Right, between the two, correlation between the independent variable. Because you could get a correlation inside between a y and an x, and that's not going to be multicollinear. Okay, good job. You pick, Brent.
Models for 800?
Models, 800. Number of project model that has no interaction and no curvature. Raquel?
What is model 4?
Yeah, model 4, no interaction, no curvature. You pick, Raquel.
Woe is me for 600.
Woe is me, 600. Type of data which generally leads to correlated regression errors. Raquel again.
What is time series data?
Time series data leads to correlated errors. All right, Raquel, pick again.
Famous statisticians for 200.
Famous statisticians for 200. From Russia with theorem. Troy.
I said who is Neumann? It's like Ney.
Sorry, no, Troy. Anybody else? From Russia with theorem. Audience? Chebyshev. Who is Chebyshev? Coming from Russia with his theorem, right? Remember Chebyshev's theorem? I think Raquel's still picking. Go ahead.
Quotes for 200.
Quoters for 200.
Yeah, quoters.
Chinese sage who says a picture is worth 1,000 words. Fernando.
What is Confucius?
Yep, Confucius. That's the answer. You pick. Good job. Go ahead.
Quarters for 1,000.
Quoters for 1,000. Sci-fi writer who felt statistical thinking is necessary for efficient citizenship. Fernando again.
What is H.G. Wells?
Who's H.G. Wells? Yep. H.G. Wells. You're again, Fernando.
Models for 1,000.
Models for 1,000. Equation of a model with one quantitative and one qualitative independent variable that graphs as two non-parallel straight lines. Brent?
Beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x1 x2.
Sorry, no. You show the clue. There we go. Anybody else? Brent, I hated to do it to you. Guess what you didn't say? Form of a question. You had the right answer. Form of a question. I said I'd hold everybody to it on the second round. Okay. Yeah, the answer is what is beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x1 x2 interaction. No curvature, has the interaction. So you had it right. I was hoping you were going to pick that up. But I think, so you lost those points. So I think Fernando was picking. Go ahead, Fernando.
Quarters for 400.
Quotas for 400. Data sleuth who can't make bricks without clay. Brent.
Who is Sherlock Holmes?
Who's Sherlock Holmes? There we go. You picked Brent.
What was me for 800?
Woe is me for 800. Extrapolation in regression predictions. Extrapolation in regression predictions. Anybody? Audience? Predicting outside the range of the sample data, right? Picking an X outside the range of the sample data. It's called extrapolation. I think Brent's still picking. Go ahead, Brent.
Quoters for 600?
Quoters, 600. Dr. Sinchek says this about a residual plot. No pattern. Fernando.
No, what is no problem?
What is no problem? Very good. Fernando.
Woo is me for 1,000.
Woe is me for 1,000. To control the overall type 1 error in ANOVA multiple comparisons, we select this small. Brent?
What is the alpha level?
That's true. And also the experiment-wise error rate, same thing. Okay, got those points. Good job. You pick?
Famous statisticians for 400?
Famous statisticians for 400. Known as the father of regression for his work with Galton on Sun's heights. Troy?
Who is Carl Pearson?
Who's Pearson? Very good. Your points, Troy. You pick.
I'll do famous statisticians for 600.
Famous statisticians for 600. The second of the two daily doubles. So now, once again, my scorekeep Tyler is going to let me know how many points Troy has. You've got 700. You can wager up to 1,000, Troy. And in the lead, I'm assuming, is Brent still? Brent is 3,400. You have 700. You can wager up to 1,000. This is going to be a video daily double, so be looking at your screen as you listen to me under the famous statisticians. Go ahead. How much you want to bet?
I'm going to just do 300.
Okay, just 300. All right, so here we go. I need to actually do this. Watch the screen there, Troy, and listen to what I have to say. As a young boy, he yearned to become a starship captain. Instead, he now commands 650 USF students over the tube.
Who is Terry Sinchek?
There you go. How'd you know that? Very good. Very good. Okay, so you got those. I forgot how much you wagered.
What?
1,000?
I wagered 300.
Oh, you only wagered 300. Okay, so just.
So, but I meant
sorry.
1,000.
So you meant 1,000. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, that was a good job, Troy. Okay, you pick again.
All right, we'll do quoters for 800.
Quoters, 800. Galton's law. It says tall fathers have shorter sons on average. I need to see a hand high before I call on somebody. Okay, Fernando, you're in.
What is regression?
More specific.
What is the law of regression?
Yeah, law of regression or law of universal regression. Yep, there you go. All right, so last, you got those points? And here's our last clue, famous statisticians for 800. Here we go. The first to apply ANOVA methodology at a tea party. Troy.
Who is Fisher?
Who's Fisher? There you go. Okay, folks. So that completes our double Jeopardy round. All right, once again, we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back. We're going to play Final Jeopardy. I'll give you the point scores for all the contestants. So let's give them one round of applause as we leave. I will see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. And give our contestants a round of applause. And remember, don't forget our sponsor, the final exam. Please do not forget our sponsor. That would not be good, okay, for anybody. All right, so here we go. Here's our results. We take a look on the overhead camera. All right, so Katie unfortunately had negative, but Katie's still going to play Final Jeopardy just for fun, just to show her knowledge. So Katie's going to get to play, but she won't be able to win. Anyway, in the lead is Brent with 3,400. Okay, 3,400 for Brent. That's followed by Fernando at 2,700, then Raquel at 2,400, then Troy at 1,800, and Yolanda at 200. Nobody's out of this, okay, because of the wagers. They can wager up to as much as they have, and so nobody is out. They've all made their wager on the standard deviation. Okay, that's the category, the standard deviation, the Final Jeopardy category. All right, contestants, remember now to please form your response in the form of a question, okay? Please do that. Don't forget to do that. All right, so here we go with the clue. All right. Again, the category being the standard deviation. Here's the clue. The interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points on the final exam. Now, you don't have to raise your hand. You're going to write down your answer. You're going to write down your answer. The interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points on the final exam. And audience, you can all get this. This is all something you should be able to do. The interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points in the final exam. I'm going to just go ahead and play the song here, because what would Jeopardy be without our song? The interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points on the final exam. I'm going to give my contestants a little bit more time than they would normally give on the Jeopardy show, because this is a lot harder, right? The interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points on the final exam. Interpretation of S equals 8 in a model for Y equals total points on the final exam. Okay, contestants, should all be finishing up with your response. Give you another 10 seconds. Then I'll collect your answers, and then we'll see who is the newly crowned Jeopardy champion. And of course, I know there's a lot of people in your section that want it to be you. Okay? All right, let me go ahead and collect the questions, the responses. All right, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go in order. I'm going to start with Katie. Even though Katie couldn't win, she actually is going to win the at-home Jeopardy stat game. She can play with her friends at home. I know that a lot of people would be interested in that. Okay, so here we go. Katie's response. Oh, I better turn. Sorry, my bad. Got to show it to you. Okay, Katie's response is this. What is the true mean will be within 2S equal to 16 points of the predicted value? Not quite right, Katie, just a slight miss. Okay, just a minor correction there. We're going to see it in a minute what the right answer is. So, but again, you weren't playing for points there, but it's just not quite right. Okay, so that's Katie's response. All right, next came, I think we need to look at Yolanda at 200. So let me find Yolanda's response at 200. Okay, Yolanda says this. We are 95% confident that we will have an actual Y, or we're 95% confident that it will be within 16 points. Not quite right, usually 95% confident, Yolanda, sorry. Now you had 200 and her wager was 200, so Yolanda, go down to 0, but that's all right. You get the at-home Jeopardy stat game too. You can play that again with all your friends in the dorm, whatever. Okay, and then now next is, let's see, comes next should be Troy. Okay, let's find Troy's. All right, Troy, here we go. Here's Troy's response. Troy says, what is about 95% of 2s equal to 16 total points will fall within the total points on the final exam. Can't quite give that to you, Troy. It's almost there. It's not quite there. So I can't give you full credit for that one. You had 1,700, I believe it was, and you wagered 1,200. So let's see. Troy is going to, you had 1,800, and you wagered 1,200. So Troy is going to end up with plus 600. Okay. Katie ends up with 0. Yolanda ends up with 0. Troy up with 600. Okay, now next we go to Raquel at 2,400. Yeah, Raquel 2,400. Okay, Raquel says approximately 95% of the scores will fall within 16 points of their predicted values. There you go. There's the right answer. About 95% of the exam scores are going to fall within 16 points of their predicted values. Okay, so Raquel had 2,400 and she wagered 2,300. So that puts Raquel up at 4,700 and into the lead. So Raquel now is into the lead. Of course, Raquel is playing for the Monday, Wednesday, 3:30 class. All right, now that takes us to Fernando. And Fernando had 2,700. Here's Fernando's response. We are 95% confident that the actual values of the test will fall within 16 points of the predicted values. Well, see, again, confidence level would make it incorrect. Sorry, Fernando, can't give that to you. You had 2,700. You wagered 1,300, so that leaves you with plus 1,400. So still, Raquel in the lead. Fernando in second. And it's all up to Brent now to see what Brent has. Okay, so Brent was in the lead with 3,400. And Brent says, what is this statement? 95% of the model's predicted final exam scores will fall within 16 points of the actual final exam scores. That's right. Brent got it right. Brent had the lead at 3,400. Did he wager enough? Yeah, he wagered 2,000 to put him up to 5,400. So here's our final standings. At 5,400, Brent first place. So everybody in the Wednesday night class wins a point. And then Raquel finished second at 4,700, and you can see the remaining scores. So, hey, look, great game. Give everybody a round of applause. And I want to thank the contestants, especially because without them, there's no game, there's no bonus points. I appreciate everybody coming to the live class, and you were a great audience. And use it to help you study for the final, okay? I'll see everybody after Thanksgiving.